Hello, I'm May-Woodruff, and welcome to my TED Talk.
I'm designing a craft heritage museum in order to educate children and their families on the crafts brought over to the U.S. by European immigrants. I hope to foster learning through play and entertain anyone that visits. I want my design to be enjoyable for everyone from young children to their great-grandparents. The central pieces of my project are the museum exhibits, makerspace, playground, and dye garden. I want this museum to function as a third space, like a library or coffee shop, where the community can gather without having to buy anything. Minnesota has a particularly interesting mix of cultures to draw from, and having family there, I was a little biased. My site is in Rochester, Minnesota, about an hour outside of the Twin Cities. The plot used to be home to the Meadow Lakes Golf Course, and there are currently no plans for future site development. My design will reside on the west side of the plot due to flood risk and limited access to utilities. The proposed site is shown in orange. I immediately had ideas for the exhibits of the museum, so my design process worked from the individual rooms outward. I spent a lot of time in CAD charting out my exhibits in circulation, though I made sure to draw my results regularly to keep track of any changes I made from iteration to iteration. Here are some of my concept art pieces, mostly focusing on the entryway to the museum, where the gift shop, bathrooms, museum entrance, and entry to the makerspace are. Then I have my main concept A. It has an L-shaped guy garden, greenhouse over the playground, and it's made up of 2 floors of museum. The upper floor having the cultural museum with cafe and resource library. This one's my favorite, and we will be talking about this a little more later. Concept B has a single floor with a museum and workshop separated into 2 buildings. The playground and dye garden weave through the middle of the 2 buildings and act as kind of a backyard. This one's Dave's favorite, but we're going to move on to the next one. Concept C has the playground and dye garden closer to the front of the building so that people, if they're visiting, can have easier access to it, and has shifted the makerspace to the north side of the site for better circulation. Here is the front view of my building. Then I have my back view of the building, which I have not finalized the design for the dye garden or the playground, so I would love suggestions on the layout and circulation of these design elements. Here you might want to pause and go ahead and look at anything that I have marked with an asterisk, because those are questions and pieces that I am still working on and want some input on. So far I have plans for the wool, sweater, and quilting exhibits, but I still have to flesh out some concepts for the spinning, dye, and embroidery rooms. The exhibits that I have done are the wool exhibit, knitting, and quilting rooms. The wool and spinning exhibit will include interactive displays showing the differences between kinds of wool, allowing visitors to feel samples and watch demos on how different spinning implements work. The sweater design room will have tables with tablets that are connected to the screens around the room that will display visitors' sweater designs. There will be a wall explaining the difference between circular and linear knitting, what blocking is, as other such knitting topics. The quilting room will have interactive quilt square tiles made of foam for children to arrange into their own designs, and there will also be kid-friendly sewing demonstrations throughout the year. I would love to know how I can make these interactive exhibits more appealing to adults and teens, how I can improve circulation through my exhibits, and what ways I can improve the design of the dye garden. Thank you so much. There's going to be a PDF of this presentation in the description. Please let me know if you want any more information, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.